Hey, check 1, 2. Hey, check 1, 2.
Okay, good morning, folks. We're about 2 minutes out. We do have chairs up front. If you can move in, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. All right, good morning, folks. Good morning. Buddy Blocks and Planches for the park incident. This is your operational briefing for August 1st. I'd ask that you please silence any cell phones, sidebar conversations. Please take them out back so we can get going on the process. There are no changes to the management and general control objectives. You can refer to them on page 1. And night operations, Jed Gaines.
Good morning. We had a good day yesterday. Crews really took advantage of the weather we had and the lid that stayed on this with the minimal fire activity. Down in Branch 5, continue holding the line, looks really good. Working in Cohasset, there's a lot of work going on there. PG&E is in there rebuilding and replacing a lot of their infrastructure. Our crews are in there continuing to mop up and make safe that community so we can get that repopped. Up in Branch 10, the south end of Branch 10 looking real good. Direct line all the way around. They actually started pulling hose and backhauling that yesterday on the south end of it. The north end, they're still working that other piece up here south of Hogsback Ridge. Hopefully in the next day or two, we'll get that tied in with direct line in there. Up into Branch 12, they got that little finger that squirted out. The east side of the finger is cut direct, plumbed, and they're working and mopping that up. The west side of it, still a little bit of work to do. We got indirect dozer line. The crews are continuing to go direct and then getting that plumbed. Hopefully we're going to get that finished today. Up around the top, it is still in the south end of Battle Creek drainage, holding well, direct line, mopping that up, doing good. Over into Branch 15 on the Little Giant Mill Road, going direct, keep going further south. They've made good progress down in there with the dozers, and it's all holding, looking good. Still trying to evaluate how we're going to get into Antelope Creek down there and get that cut off. The Branch 20 yesterday, which is the new Branch 18 that you see today, crews did really good. We got a lot of that over in Deer Creek. It's doing well in there. And then the Lassen Trail, we kind of squared that off last night. It's holding right now, still a lot of work in there and mop up that needs to hold that. The slop over down on Humboldt and 32 is doing good. A lot of mop up, but it still needs to be hit hard today. There's still quite a bit of heat in there on that slop over. Down into 25, everything's really good down in there. We did have one flare up. Some of it's just in some of the dozer line with the piles in there, so we just need to keep an eye on that stuff and work that. The contingency lines are going well. They're getting in. They relocated the Butte contingency yesterday. They got about 40 transports got down out of Butte Meadows and moved to the north, so they're starting a plan up there and getting a lot of good contingency in. Have a good day.
Weather, Jeff Tonkin.
Good morning. So the last few days we've been talking about Thursday today being a more critical weather day, and we are definitely still on track for that. We're going to see temperatures right around 100 degrees across most areas of the perimeter, and we're going to see relative humidity values getting down to 15 to 20% today. Those are numbers that we haven't seen in about a week when the fire was really rocking and rolling. The other thing that's a big factor today is we're going to see a lot less smoke. We can already see that here down in Chico, a lot of blue skies. So any residual smoke today is going to move south to north our winds aloft are quite strong out of the south, so they're going to push that smoke all the way to the north, and we're going to see a lot of this heavier concentrated smoke across the northeast side here also start to be pulled away from that area. So by this afternoon, we expect fairly clear skies across most of the area, especially this north end, and that's going to lead to better column and plume development, along with an increase in instability. So definitely a heads up here. But I want to be very clear that our surface winds today are not going to be much different than they have been. The winds I'm talking about are generally up around 10,000 feet. But the surface winds today will be still quite about the same as what we've seen the last couple of days out of the southwest this afternoon, ranging from 6 to 10 miles per hour or so, and some gusts in the mid-teens by the afternoon. One other thing I want to mention, if you want to track the weather, we did add a QR code on the bottom of your fire weather forecast in your IAP, and you can click on that if you're in cell range, and you'll be able to see weather stations.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
Okay, as you just heard from the IMET, it's a different weather day, which also means that's a different fire behavior day. So as that ventilation is occurring over the fire, we're going to have a lot more activity that we haven't seen in a handful of days. For those of you who have been here for a few shifts, it's been relatively calm with that smoke layer overhead, but there has been activity even underneath that heavy smoke and in that areas where there's been little to no wind, but we've still been getting spot fires. So today, as it starts to ventilate out, especially in this northeastern portion here through the day, as that starts to clear, starts to pull that smoke out, you can expect that you're going to have continued spotting, continued activity, and increasing activity, and definitely have plume development. In these areas, Deer Creek, Mill Creek, all forks of the Antelope Creek area, there's a lot of fire on the IR this morning, basically a constant line of fire all the way across here. So all of those areas are very prone to this activity and this weather change that we're expecting. It's going to be different in the respects of what we've had in the past, where you have a wind start to push the smoke out. This is more of that smoke column starting to get pulled out by the ventilation that's occurring. So it's going to be kind of a slow build through the morning. It may be when you get out there that there's not a whole lot more activity than you've seen over the past few days. But as it gets into the middle of the day and into the afternoon, that activity is going to increase exponentially as it really clears out. So just be a heads up. Outside of the plume, you could see spotting upwards of a quarter mile. Underneath and near the plume, where there's more wind driven by that plume activity, you could see spotting half mile, 3/4 of a mile, or maybe even further, depending on the strength of that plume. So really be heads up as you get out there today. Really be aware of where you're working in your location in relation to the fire, because you may not be able to hear, you'll be able to hear the fire, but not necessarily be able to see it based on that thick smoke that's in there this morning. So all along here, these places, especially Highway 32, where we've seen reduced activity, you could see renewed activity with that clearing smoke and a little bit more of those surface winds coming in. I don't necessarily expect spots out of there, but there is that potential in those areas where there's renewed activity. So really just overall, it's a different weather day today, more critical than we've seen in about 4 or 5 days. Really watch that plume development and have really good situational awareness and a good plan.
Safety, David Morrison.
Hey, good morning. Today's safety products are found on pages 8 and 9 of your IAP. Please utilize those products to brief to your crews prior to doing any work on the line. Document that on your 214s for your shift. As you've heard, the warmer, drier weather's coming in. While we can't stop that, you can prep your bodies for how you're going to react to that. So it starts with hydration, replacing those electrolytes, getting everything going before, during, and after your strenuous activities. Finally, a lot of our crews are working in some very steep, rugged, rocky terrain. Please be aware of your footing, your placement. Try to prevent all of those nuisance injuries that are going to occur out there. Thank you. Be safe.
Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. Welcome back for those who've been here. For those that are new, welcome to the park incident. A lot of great work over the past couple days. We've had some really good weather, relatively so, that we've been able to get direct on this fire. A lot of great work. There's a lot more black on that map than we were anticipating, especially with the weather we saw about a week ago. It's tremendous work that everybody's done here. So we need to continue that work. You're hearing from IMET and FBAN, there are going to be some challenges with the weather and the fire conditions that are going to be facing us in the days moving forward. we still have another good day that we can put a big hurt on this thing. So continue that work. Continue that direct line on our primary lines. Tighten that up. Tighten up our alternate lines, okay? We have contingency in place as well. If things do start getting active with the fire, that's great. We want to plan that 48, 72, 96 hours ahead. That's fantastic. But by going direct, getting on this thing, tighten this up, that's our goal. And you guys have been doing a good job. Just continue on with those efforts. With this fire, as I've explained before, it's huge. We have a lot of resources, but this thing is massive. Over 270 miles, linear miles, if you use the entire fire perimeter. So what we've had to do is we have to surge resources. We prioritize our fire and we surge those resources in to those priority areas, and we'll take this and eat the elephant one bite at a time. Our priorities today are going to be in branch 12, branch 15, and branch 18. Those are our priorities for today. So your line leadership are well briefed on this. They will be briefing you as the troops on if we need to surge, how we're going to do that, and take care of business and meet the missions and objectives for today. I just want to put a little shout out there. We're stressed throughout the state with fire. We have more fire activity and potential with more. We're early in the fire season still. We do have some help coming from out of state. I want to acknowledge we have folks that are here today from Utah and Texas. Thank you and welcome. We appreciate your help and assistance on this incident. Like any big complex incident, there's going to be challenges. If you haven't been challenged already, you will be challenged on this, I guarantee you. Anybody that's been doing this a while knows that that's the nature of the job. We have to be prepared for that. But it's tough when you have to face that adversity, and how do you deal with that adversity is key. Yesterday I had a team member, and I don't mean a team member red hat. All of us are team members. We're here for the same goals, same objectives. So all of us are team members, and we have to keep our team members and prop them up. Not every team member has a star game and performance, but we have to prop them up. and in order to prop yourself up and prop up your person, you got to put it in perspective. I was thinking about it last night. I thought, well, how do you deal with that? And reminded by a quote by Lou Holtz, famous coach from University of Notre Dame football. And he said, he had put it really well, I liked it. Said, adversity is another way to measure the greatness of individuals. I never had a crisis that didn't make me stronger. And I think you have to reflect upon that. I think we've all seen that in our careers. If you haven't, you're one lucky person, because this career is challenging. So what I encourage you to do is think about it. You face that adversity, you embrace that, and you become stronger. So I want you to be stronger like champions today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. This morning we have fixed-wing aircraft, air attack, and air tankers available at 0800. Helco will be going up to check the air to see if we're going to start that operation or if we'll use helicopters to start out early this morning. We have 3 helibases now. In the Butte zone, we have the Chico helibase. In the Tehama zone, we have Red Bluff helibase and the Spring Ranch helibase. All those helibases have Type 1, Type 2 helicopters available for fire suppression. We have Copter 606 for daytime hoist, our Firehawk. And we have Guard 840 available coming out of Reading for nighttime hoist. We also have 2 MRBs, one in the Butte zone, with MRB is a mobile retardant base. One in the Butte zone is called Creek MRB. One in the Tehama zone, and it's called Manton MRB. We also have a UAS working night shift with using the priorities of operations, and we have PG&E flying at 06 to 08 and sometimes during operations in the fire when approved. Have a good day.
Communications, Tom Webb.
Good morning. Today's command net CDF Command 2. Tone 10 for the Tehama zone, tone 11 for the Butte zone. That being said, you'll have to hunt around. Sometimes you go around a corner, tone 11 might work better in Tehama, tone 10 might work better in Butte. So just like that, you need to hunt and peck a little bit to see which is going to get your communications back into the communications unit here. We're also working on version 4 of our clone. If you don't have version 4, you need to come and see us and get cloned. When we move to the NIFC system after validation, hopefully today, Then if we do that, then you will need to be cloned. You have to have that. There's no some of those frequencies are not in the state load, they're specials. If you have any questions, come see us over in the communication unit at the respective base camps. Thanks.
And medical, Chris Yuri.
Good morning. Today's medical plan is on page 72 in your IAP. At the bottom of the 206 is the reporting instructions. If you have a line emergency, please brief your crews over those reporting instructions and procedures. If you have a line emergency, follow those procedures and we'll get you the help that you need. Today we'll have fire line EMTs and medics out on the line for you, along with RIMS teams and dedicated ALS ambulances. We do have CalMat and MERT both here at the Butte base and also at the Tehama base. If you need any medical supplies or have any medical issues, you can go see CalMat or MERT. If you have any medical issues, also you can come see us in the medical unit. We're located in the building right next door, or you can see the medical unit leaders at the Tehama base. Have a safe shift.
Logistics, Andy Whitlock.
Good morning. Your hours of operation for logistical support is located on page 83. Please follow the supply and ground support instructions. They can assist you with services at ground support and resupplies at the supply, but follow those instructions. They need specific documentation is also listed on page 84. Fuel tender is located at drop point 45 starting yesterday, and there's also a hydration unit at that location. Thank you.
At training, Sean Wilson.
Yesterday, we saw an increase of trainees checking in. We do still have about 200 unaccounted trainees on the incident. Training specialists are available at both Butte and Tehama base camps. If you're a trainee, come by and see us as soon as possible. You can find the training message on page 73 of your IAP. Thank you.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you could please turn to page 75 in your IAP. I have the most recent numbers for the incident status box if you're clear to copy. We have acreage at 392,480. That's 392,480. Containment's at 18%, 18%. Total personnel is at 6,080. That's 6080. Just to the right of the page, you'll see two QR codes. The first one is the California State Penal Code. It allows the media to enter scenes of any disaster. Just below that one is our CAL FIRE social media policy. Please become familiar with both of those. We're looking for photos and any videos that you may have. Our trailers at the entrance of base camp. Lost and Found is still open. We have a few lost multiple communication devices. Please come see us. And if you're still looking for a large box of fire engine parts, those will be at ground support. Mail service is available. Please use the example in the box at the bottom of the page for your shipping label, and have a safe shift.
Finance, Roger Rains.
Good morning. Your finance products start on page 77. Please take some time today to review those. There's 5 pages of information. Of note for today, for CAL FIRE employees, for a lot of you, the work period ends on Sunday, August 4th. We have ePay cafes set up at both zones in the finance sections if you need them. If you need shift tickets, you can also go to those finance sections to get your shift tickets. For our line supervision, we really appreciate the work you're doing in getting those in. There are over 500 pieces of hired equipment out on the line. Please make sure the resources that are working for you have checked in with finance, brought us their contracts, and made that initial contact with finance. And lastly, for our local government and out-of-state resources, on page 74 is the OES check-in sheet. It has a lot of information there for you. Please make sure you've checked in with OES. Have a great day.
Butte Zone Operations, Jeremy Pierce.
All right, good morning, everybody. So Mother Nature's here. We got a change in the weather. We've had a little bit of a lull. We did a lot of work the last couple of days. It's going to start off a little slow this morning before this clears. And once you look up and you see that sunshine, be prepared for that fire to take a little bit more activity and take some action on it if you can. So we'll start off with a roll call down to the branch level. Zone Deputy Operations Dyer. Here. Branch 5 Gonzalez. Bravo Bravo Black. Here. Bravo X-Ray Davidson. Here. All right, so over in the branch 5, this is where we've got all of our black. We are repopulating Cohasset in the next couple of days. We've got to make it safe. Get on up there. You guys have been doing a tremendous amount of work. There's a lot of work up there with PG&E, et cetera. try to fit in with that, get those hazard trees down and make it safe. Be ambassadors to all the hard work that's been put down there by your folks, and be ambassadors for the fire service to those folks returning. Appreciate your work. All right, branch 18, new branch. Note that. Norman. Here. Bravo Charlie, Frederick. Here. Bravo Echo, Hale. Here. All right, this is our priority branch up in this area, okay? A lot of work was put in yesterday, getting fire down to Ponderosa and getting this connected to take out that little island and fingers down in that area. It's tough line. Some of it's mid-slope, some of it's in the flat, and some of it's with dozer, and some of it's with hand line. But it's been fired out. We need to keep it in check there. It's going to be tough to hold today. My challenge is that we get in there. When we have a spot, when you have a problem, don't give up on it. Get your aircraft in there. Use that aircraft to make it so that you can take action on it and then take action on it. So step back, take action on it, and then go get it. Just don't give up on it in there. And then coming over to Dead Horse on this second piece right here, also been fired, just as difficult terrain, and same thing. We got to stick with it. So don't give up on it, okay? And then coming around and connecting it to this point over here will be our next challenge. It's going to be a difficult task, but there's some good folks in there. There was a lot of hard work that was put in the day before, and today there's some great workers in there. They're going to go ahead and take that to the next level. All right, so branch 20, Walton. Here. Edson, trainee. Here. Bravo Foxtrot, Clifford. Here. Bravo Hotel, Wilkinson. Here. Bravo Kilo, Watner. Morning. Bravo November, Garindo. Here. All right, so branch 20, down into Forest Ranch. We still got some hot spots in there. All the citizens are back in there. Be the ambassadors. Take care of those hot spots. We got a couple of spots that were over the line. We sent it out. The troops went out and validated them, make sure that they were taken care of, took care of the heat. They were, that happened 2 or 3 times. I expect the same thing today. So please stay out, stay vigilant, look for those hot spots, and let's take care of it before that weather really changes tomorrow. Branch 25, Baez. Here. Boyce, trainee. Here. Weddle and Bravo Papa, Weddle. Bravo Tango and Victor, Derlew. Here. All right, so same thing as we move down around the bottom part of this, we need to make sure we don't have any other hotspots, put it on patrol. We got a lot of traffic in there. We got citizens in there. Be that ambassador for all that hard work that's been put in. And lastly, Butte Contingency, Boston. Here. All right, this piece out here is our contingency. A lot of work. There's several lines out there. They've got 60 plus dozers out there that he's trying to wrangle and get around this thing. A lot of moving parts. Be safe out there. Keep that work going. We're going to get him some line leadership to help with those 60 pieces, but so far they're out there. They're ready to start. They're already moving. So thank you for your time. It's going to be a long day. I appreciate it. You guys be safe out there. We got the changing weather. Don't give up on anything that gets across our line. Remember, there's a lot of work put in it before you, and if we give up on it, then we got to fall back, and we don't want to do that. So please don't give up on it, but be safe when you do it. Have a plan. We have spot fires every day. We have slop overs every day. Plan for it. It shouldn't be a surprise, but when it happens, have a plan and go get it. You guys have a good shift.
Okay, just a couple announcements and reminders. Your division breakouts are straight out back behind the bleachers. Your unassigned resources are over here. Cooperators meeting will be today at 10 o'clock over in the Harvest Building. The planning meeting will be at 1700 hours in the same building. Your next operational briefing will be here tomorrow morning at 0700 hours. Unified ICs, Todd Mack and Billy C.
Good morning, everyone. Had a successful community meeting up in Chester last night, and just want to convey the thank you from the community of Chester, Mill Creek, and some of the other surrounding communities out there. So, we're covering all our bases. We're fighting fire aggressively. We're being safe. We're being smart. We're communicating. We're also hitting the public information side really hard. I think we're covering all our bases, so I just want to ensure that we continue to stay that direction. You've heard all of the folks come up before us talking about the challenges of today with the weather and the fuels and the topography. Stay focused, stay focused. Thank you.
All right, good morning. First, excellent job. Yesterday we had a growth rate on this incident of just over 2,000 acres. That's the least amount of growth that we've seen since the inception of this fire. Obviously, we look at branch 12, branch 15, branch 18. Those three branches need to stay interlinked today. That's where the firefight's going to be. But I don't want to lose focus on what we've already gained down here. Everything that we've gained down here, we're starting to get back to normalcy. We're starting to put the public back to where they belong, back in their homes, back on their property. Today, all of you are ambassadors of the emergency response system. Make sure if you have public interaction that you treat them fairly, you treat them properly, and you understand the impacts that all the residents in this entire region have gone through over the last decade with the large and damaging fires. That's very important. We still got a lot of work to do. We still got a lot of people evacuated from their properties and their homes. We need to get them back home as soon as possible, and we're going to do it safely. Stay engaged, 1 foot in the black, 1 foot in the green. Our best objective here is to go direct as much as possible. That land is dangerous. That land is tough. I get it. Do the best you can out there. Be safe with the number one priority that everyone comes home safely at the end of the shift. Thank you.
And that concludes your operational briefing. Once again, your division breakouts are out here. Unassigned resources are over here. Thank you. Good morning. Real quick, if you're assigned to